आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Hello everyone, in this question we need to find the range of the function, and the function is greatest integer of sin x plus greatest integer of cos x plus greatest integer of tan x plus greatest integer of sec x and the whole greatest integer. Now x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, right? Now here, before solving this question, I am going to tell you a concept of greatest integer, that if we have a greatest integer like this, that is greatest integer of x plus I. What is I here? So my I is basically integer. So I can write it as greatest integer x plus greatest integer of I, and greatest integer of I is what? I, right? So this will get separated, this will get dissociated, which will get a number x added with an integer number. Now for my function, what is my function? My function is greatest integer of sin x plus greatest integer of cos x plus greatest integer of tan x plus greatest integer of sec x and whole in the greatest integer. Now for some time, let assume this as t. Let assume this as t. So I can say my function is what? My function is greatest integer of sin x plus greatest integer of t. Now I can dissociate it as greatest integer of sin x plus greatest integer of t. Now what is my t here? My t is greatest integer of sin x, and what is my t? My t is cos x plus greatest integer of tan x plus greatest integer of sec x and whole greatest integer, right? Now I am again going to assume this as t, so what I have my function as greatest integer of sin x plus greatest integer of cos x plus greatest integer of tan x plus greatest integer of sec x. Now similarly, in this way I can write my function as a whole as greatest integer of sin x plus separated by greatest integer of cos x plus greatest integer of tan x plus greatest integer of sec x. These all functions get dissociated. Now what is my x here? As x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, right? So sin x will belong to, now x belong to 0 to pi by 4, then sin x will belong to sin 0 0, sin 45 how much? 1 by root 2. So I can say greatest integer of sin x will belong to greatest integer of 0 to 1 by root 2, and in between all these numbers, these are less than 1, so the answer is 0. Similarly, if cos x belongs to, if x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, then cos x belongs to 1 to 1 by root 2. Now this value got what? This value got decreased. From 1 it onwards it got decreased. So greatest integer of cos x will belong to greatest integer of 1 to 1 by root 2. Now the answer is again 0. Similarly, for tan x, my x 0 to pi by 4, then tan x will belong to 0 to 1. And greatest integer of tan x is what? Greatest integer of tan x will be equal to 0, because in between 0 to 1 we have all the values that less than 1, and greatest integer of less than 1 in between 0 is 0. Now finally we have sec x. Now if x belongs 0 to pi by 4, then sec x belongs to 1 to root 2, and greatest integer of sec x in between these number is always 1, So my function is, if I add all these values, this value, then my function is 1. Now what is my function? If I assume my fx as y, so I can say the value of y is 1 and the range of function is 1. So this is my final answer. My range is what? 1. For every value of x I will always get 1. So this is my answer. Thank you.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट, IIT JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।